Hey everyone, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another day of the 25 days of Christmas. Still playing a little catch up, trying to get us all 25 videos out by Christmas time. But I will. I promise, guys, I will. And today we're back and we're talking about a film that kind of like I think it flew under the radar when it came out a few years ago. And it's an interesting one. That I will say for sure. It's one that I had never watched before, but I had it in the collection. But I figured, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and break it out. And that is Fatman. Mel Gibson as Santa Claus, Walter Goggins, who is just, he's a crazy good actor. Like the guy is just criminally, I think he's criminally underrated. And he's playing like this hired gun, like this hired assassin who's hired by a disgruntled child, a grumpy child who receives coal for Christmas because he's big time on the naughty list. And this kid hires Walter Goggins to go out and bring him the head of good old Kris Kringle. Yeah, it's one of those films. And on top of that, we also have Santa. Mel Gibson, first off, his portrayal of Santa, it's interesting. It's something that I was not expecting, something I would not expect from Mel Gibson, for that matter. I mean, I would not expect him to play Santa Claus. But him, I like the interaction between him and Mrs. Claus is very sweet and endearing. I like the dynamic between the both of them. But Santa Claus, he's kind of like down on his luck a little bit because he sees that things are not going the way that they were in the past. Kids are just not being as good as they used to be, and the power of Christmas is just not there as much. So, unfortunately, he has to, in order to keep things going for Santa's workshop and his elves, he has to take on this military contract of building boards, basically, for their, aerials, for their weapons, for their missiles, basically motherboards to control boards to control these missiles. So you have to take that on for a few months. So you have that whole thing going on with these military guys coming in, kind of like taking over the workshop for a few months. Plus Walter Goggins as he's tracking down Santa Claus. I mean, it's crazy as it is, but he's on the hunt trying to get all this information to track down good old Saint Nick and basically take out Santa. And the kid who's playing this evil, like manipulative kid, he's pretty good. Almost you want to be like, kid, oh, you just want to, because he's just one of those, like, he gets under your skin. He does, and that's just a great sign of a pretty good actor. And I think that kid would be really good, in the long run if he gets more roles, because he plays this role very, very well. And in between everything that's going on with the military and then Walter Goggins going after him, when it all culminates and Goggins finally finds out where Santa is, where his workshop is, where he lives, and he's coming in there and he's taking on, these army guys trying to get to Santa, and then the final confrontation between the two of those, seeing Mel Gibson play Santa, get like, having like a handgun and having to go out and defend his property and defend his wife and his workers. It's interesting, and it plays out in a way that you are not expecting. I know I wasn't expecting it to play out the way it did, and especially, but the end of the movie goes a little dark. I'm not gonna say I didn't like how it ended, but it was darker than what I expected it to be, and I thought it was an interesting take on a Santa Claus story. Um, is it something I'm going to revisit all the time? I don't I don't think so. I think it's going to be one of those films where maybe every couple years I'll go ahead and I'll sit down and I'll watch because it's only like about an hour and a half. But I would say Mel Gibson alone is interesting as Santa, as Kris Kringle. But Walter Goggins, really, the things that he does in this film, I think if you take that character out, I don't think this film is as successful. I think he definitely brings a. It's crazy because he's almost bringing like a comedic aspect to this as well, because there are this is considered, some people consider it a comedy as well, and I definitely can see that. It's definitely an action slash comedy. And I guys, I gotta say, I definitely think I give it a thumbs up. I think it's definitely something worth checking out at least once. I think it's because it's a different type of Christmas film. It's definitely something worth checking out one time at least. And the acting, I think the acting is there. So I don't think you're gonna. I don't think it's hit and miss with the acting. I think the acting's pretty freaking solid in this film. By both parties, Gibson and Goggins. I think it's definitely solid. So I think Fat Man is definitely worth checking out, guys. Revenge never takes a holiday. I mean, look at that. You just, I mean, that Mel Gibson, like that right there, Chris Kringle right there. You see Goggins right down here at the bottom. It's definitely worth checking out, guys. I definitely think it's a solid one to go check out. Like I said, at least one time for just a different type of Christmas film. Definitely check it out, guys. So, like, subscribe, and comment if you get the chance, and I'll catch you in another episode. Take care.